Hi, this is Yolanda Vanveen from howtogardenvideos.com, and today we're in sunny Boring, Oregon with Jane Stetner, and she's showing us around her garden. Now this is a beautiful shade garden that she has, and it's the end of November and they've had some hard freezes, so everything's died back. But in the summertime it's lush and beautiful. So we're going to talk about what to do in the winter with your shade garden and prepare it for spring. So what are some tips that you might share with us, Jane?
I basically don't do much with the shade garden. I do a lot of weeding in here. Things that die in the winter I just replace, like this fuchsia, the stand-up fuchsia. Gives color to the shade garden, so I always replace this every spring. As you can see, it's dying down because it's been frozen a couple nights. So I keep this shade garden, it likes a lot of water, so I don't let it get really dry back here. And other than that, like I said, this is pretty easy. I just call it my shade garden, put everything like shade in here. And
it's beautiful. So let's look at a few of the plants. So these are hostas. You wouldn't know it from looking at it. These are actually seed pods.
yes.
So you can just leave them. I like to leave them as they are over the winter because it's a great source of food for the birds.
Right.
Or if you really like that clean look, you can turn around and trim them all out, either way. But there's lots of beautiful plants in here. You've got hostas, and I'm surprised to see these are dianthus. They're kind of like a carnation, hot pink flowers, and they're doing really well in here. And this is one of my favorite shade plants, and this is Astilbe, A-S-T-I-L-B-E. And it gets great foliage, and even when it's dry it looks pretty nice through the fall. And that's what I've noticed too. You can put these into wreaths when they're dried as a nice fall accent. And this is dying back. It's a big white calla lily, but it loves the water in this condition and lots of shade, but it still gets some morning sun here.
Right.
So
Correct.
I noticed that they do need a little bit of light. Sometimes if it's too shady they won't grow at all.
Correct.
And when it freezes they just kind of die back, and they come back every spring and do really well. So yeah, that's what I found too. It's not a lot of work to do a shade garden too in an area like this. You kind of just let it die back in the winter, and that's the best thing you can do is leave some seeds for the birds.
And when these hostas get really big, they just pretty much take over the whole garden. So that's why those are out here in the front. So
yeah, so winterizing, there's not a lot to it. You just kind of let them die back, and you can trim them out if it doesn't look good. Sometimes I put a layer of compost everywhere just to make it look a little cleaner. But I have found gardening's really easy if you kind of let it do its own thing.
yes, keeps the birds happy.